Hi, welcome back to another video. Guys, we have been so good this year. DE treated us with something that's completely unexpected. We have now been blessed with the Blast meta. I am not kidding. Blast is now absolutely fucking bonkers. I have been playing around in the simulacrum after the update dropped. So if you do not know, Blast has now been changed. Blast now deals 30% of its base damage after 1.5 seconds as an explosion. At 10 stacks or on death, stacks deal their damage simultaneously to enemies within 5 meters while staggering them. So what this means is that Blast now has a separate damage instance, which is 30% of the original Blast damage. And so far, from what I can tell, it does need some more testing, but from what I can tell, this 30% of the base damage, if you deal a crit damage attack with Blast, that will be the base damage. So the 30% also includes your crit damage as well. Now what I've also found is if I primed some enemies, and I will go to an amazing paint setup for this. Let me switch it around. Here we go. So here is a picture that I had of me priming some enemies and shooting them with a weapon with Blast. So I primed this guy initially on the right, and then I started shooting the guy on the left, because then on the left from that I would have some enemies that didn't have any viral procs on them. As you can see, the guy that has viral on him has taken 56,000 damage from one of these Blast procs over here, while the other ones that haven't been affected by the viral have taken 1,319. So what's happening is we have the first damage instance. So the first instance is the big number, so our base damage. So let's say that's like 80k. Then we deal 30% of this to enemies around the original target. So in this case that would be this guy. Now what happens is, because this guy is primed with viral, the viral damage, for some reason he is armor stripped, sorry, because I've shot him with a compressor that also dealt corrosive damage, and I had armor strip shards on my Zephyr here. So this guy is stripped of its armor, so viral is working on this number. So viral is buffing this 30% instance from the damage, the Blast damage. So the Blast damage, this instance is buffed by viral. But on your original target, if this guy would have had viral as well, this number would be affected too. So if we stack viral in a group of enemies, we are basically quadratically scaling all of our damage, all of the Blast damage that we're dealing, which is absolutely bonkers. So let's go back to the simulacrum and I will show you what this looks like. If we get some enemies, let's go, here we are. If you have a grouping ability, so on this Nasha build I have ensnare subsumed. If we get all of these guys together and we proc damage on them, there we go. So we proc Blast, you can see all of them take damage. Now with the Phalarks, because we are running Devouring Attrition, this gets even more nutty, because we have a chance to deal 2000% extra damage on non-critical hits. What we can then do is, if we just strip all of these dudes, now we just have to get lucky and have one shot proc Blast. There we go, all of them are gone. One shot to one guy basically kills the entire group. So this makes Blast in combination with grouping abilities, or stuff like Nautilus with its cordon mod, just ridiculous. Further, next to this, I was testing out some different weapons where I was like, oh well, maybe it could work on here as well. So I used the Strun Prime, which is one of my favorite guns in the game. The Strun Prime in Cardon is absolutely bonkers. You can use this for an insane amount of status as well as crit. Here I just have these two mods, and I will show you why in a bit. Because afterwards I was like, okay, well maybe there's some other Warframes that also have nice grouping, which would amplify this new Blast interaction to insane heights. So one of the first things that came to mind for me was Zephyr. Zephyr tornadoes have always been really, really wonky. with like damage amplification and stuff that would proc on multiple enemies, like the electricity procs back in the day, which they fixed relatively recently. So now I was like, okay, well, we have this new blast damage. Let's see if this works on Zephyr. So I went on Zephyr. First I had a full build on the Strand Prime. And then I was basically reducing it down to, okay, so what is actually happening? Because I was like, I'm not sure if this is actually the blast, because I had corrosive and a bunch of other extra mods on here as well. I was like, I don't know if it's really the blast doing this. So I stripped it down. I now have a unranked Scattering Inferno and an unranked Chilling Grasp. And I can deal millions of damage with this without having to armor strip. I have no words. I literally have no words. Let's spawn in some guys. Here we go. Let's get the tornadoes going. So here they are. See if we can build some Incarnon. Okay, so now with the Incarnon we have innate blast on the radial attack of the Strand Incarnon. And we now have the direct damage instance, which also has blast. And we have the crazy status. So let's see what happens. Just shoot it a couple of times. 3 million damage on armor targets. Level 205. On, I believe, even Steel Path. Yes, on Steel Path. This is ridiculous. I have no mods on here. I only have blast. I don't know what to tell you guys. Get in the game. Give this a shot. Get your favorite high damage gun with a good amount of status to proc blast. Group up some enemies with Zephyr, ensnare, nautilus, cordon, and just go bonkers. It's absolutely crazy. I have not expected this to happen. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, I will cover a lot of the new stuff that's just been dropped. If you like this, leave a like. Make sure to subscribe as well for more stuff like this, some more weird interactions with all of the new damage types and damage scaling. I will delve into those as well in the coming few videos. Log into the game, have some fun, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.